I make it no surprise, I am a huge fan of the Fire Emblem series. I love the gameplay, the stories, the music. There's not many things I dislike about the series, but the one thing I really enjoy about Fire Emblem is the characters. There are so many likeable characters in this series, both good and evil, so many in fact that a game like Fire Emblem Heroes exists. But today, I want to dedicate this video to a specific group of characters, the females. Yeah, there's no hiding it, being a guy I do get aroused by some of the designs of these women, but I think that's the point. Seeing that Fire Emblem is a series made with a more mature audience in mind, you're undoubtedly going to see a lot of fan service with not just their clothing, but their body builds as well. And seeing as it's Valentine's Day, which is a day of love, devotion and romance, I think now's a good time as any to highlight 10 Fire Emblem women I find attractive. Keep in mind, this is subjective and you're most likely to have your own preferences, but let's see how many we have in common. So with that out of the way, here are my top 10 attractive Fire Emblem females in no particular order, and we'll start with number 1. Lind. Taking one look at Lind is not hard to understand why someone would be drawn to her. She has long brown hair, a tall slim body, and surprisingly toned arms. Her defining feature of course is that pink dress, which does not hold back in showing off her thighs. And if you thought her original dress left little to the imagination, her hero's design, which doesn't resemble her original dress much, makes Lind a lot sexier. Yeah, there isn't much to her personality wise outside the desire to kill Garneth after murdering her father, but if she's gonna do it, she might as well dress beautifully and show off her hips long enough to distract him, so she can unleash the wrath of Aura on him. Okay, that probably wouldn't work on Garneth, but it would certainly work on me.
Divine Radiance, heed me!
Number 2. Faja. Yeah, I know, this is an easy one, but quite honestly, there are very few characters who can pull off wearing mostly nylon and not look skimpy. Faja is one case that pulls it off flawlessly. Funny that a character who likes to keep to herself and doesn't enjoy the company of others draws a lot of attention by wearing such a revealing outfit. Her obsession with Robin, and to an extent the player, does come off as intense and creepy, but I'd be having bizarre and conflicting thoughts with a stalker who has a body as perfect as Faja's. Give Robin credit as he's more of a gentleman as I thought, because if I were in his predicament, I probably would give in to some of her advances. Okay, watching and counting exactly how many times I turn in my sleep is a bit much. But let's be honest, when she has to be censored to avoid raising the age rating of a game like Super Smash Bros for example, you can't deny it's because Faja is too damn sexy. Number 3. Charlotte. So we go from one sexy female who doesn't wear much to one that leaves little to the imagination. Yeah, I can't deny the look of Charlotte is one I fantasize over constantly, and her blonde and white clothing colour scheme makes me blush like a tomato. But that's not the whole reason why I like her. It's Charlotte's personality that's interesting. Around men, she's very cordial and flirtatious, but behind that sweet, friendly exterior beats the heart of a ruthless, brutal maniac. She's so strong she can take down a faceless with her bare hands and can knock over a tree with a single punch. You take one look at her and you can't bring yourself to believe she's capable of such carnage. She's not all bad though. All Charlotte wants in life is gold so that she can give it to her parents as thanks for lovingly raising her despite being poor. So there is a side to her that is soft and caring. I understand if one would be put off by Charlotte's very revealing outfit and her ferocious personality, but she had me captivated just by her gorgeous body, flowing blonde hair, and that cute white ribbon accessory alone.
Oh, that evil little fairy!
Number 4. Chloe. So if you saw my Fire Emblem Engage review, you knew Chloe was making it on this list. Aside from having a rocking body, it's Chloe's gentle yet daydreaming personality that completes her. I said I fell in love with her the moment I saw her, and that hasn't changed. From her gorgeous body to her beautiful flowing blue hair and long sleeve gloves. I don't know what it is, but something about women wearing long sleeve gloves just adds to the overall attractiveness. If that weren't enough though, it's Chloe's calm, soft, beautiful voice that has me captivated. Whenever I hear her talk about being in a fairy tale, I can't help but picture myself as a heroic knight and sweeping her off her feet. I get a laugh when she suggests to Aliyah to set up an extra bed in his chamber, only for him to shoot her down. Granted, I'd shoot her down, but then I'd suggest she share the same bed, as that would be a dream come true. What's more to say, Chloe is a beautiful knight of Frione. She's very polite, has a weird taste in food, and has quite the imagination.
Emblem, engage!
Number 5. Dorothea. And who says you need to be a noble to stand out? Where the Black Eagles in 3 houses consist of nobles, you'd think Dorothea would be among them. But no, she's the only commoner in the group. And for a commoner to look this attractive, that's certainly got my attention. It does help that Dorothea has a history in performing arts, specifically singing, so she would know a thing or two about looking spectacular, whether for a performance or not. I should point out I'm more attracted to Dorothea's time skip design than her academy look. She does bring up with age her beauty would fade away, but in this case she's even more beautiful than before. Oh, and a shout out to her Three Hopes design. She's pretty as ever, but I think she has the best hair design here. Dorothea is sexy, charming, and often flirtatious towards others, and she knows it. Her dream is to settle down with someone who can give her a comfortable life and look after her for the rest of her days. I'd be happy to satisfy her needs in a heartbeat, no questions asked. Oh, and by the way, her appearances in Heroes. Those outfits, specifically her Plegan dancer costume, that's some nose-bleeding material there.
You were wide open.
Number 6. Palla. I'm mainly going by Fire Emblem Heroes with this one, as you don't see much of her design in Shadow Dragon, but being the eldest sister of the White Wings, Palla is pretty damn hot. I don't know what it is about the design of elder siblings, but Palla's design in Heroes is very pretty. She has a very cute and determined face, and has quite a sight from the hips down. She does have other designs, like her resplendent outfit is pretty cute, and her Echo's design is more sophisticated and cool, but I have to confess, the apex of her sexiness is drawn out of her spring design in Heroes. Oh my. Putting women in bunny suits is one thing, but they nailed it with Palla here. Revealing a lot more of her body, it surprisingly shows off how tall and slim Palla is, and I can't help but stare blissfully. It's a shame Palla only has eyes for Abel and no other man, but in the world of Heroes, I'm sure a version of Abel will appear who has eyes for her instead of Est, and he be one lucky guy.
This rabbit bites.
Number 7. Fjorm. I think it's very ironic that Fjorm, a princess of the Kingdom of Ice, happens to have such a steaming hot body. Either that or she likes to wear the smallest skirt possible. Yeah, that's actually brought up in one of the Fortune Bonds conversations. I don't mind, as, well, it adds to her overall appeal. Of course, other Fjorm alts heighten the senses. Her summer outfit, for example, well, there's not much to say here. Seaside 4? More like Summer 4. Oh, and her ninja outfit with harmonised Lejan. Can she not wear that any smaller? Her outfit leaves little to the imagination as it is, you don't need to add fuel to the fire. To top it off, she falls in love with the summoner, i.e. the player throughout Heroes. And it's not hard to feel the same way. Fjorm is straight up cute and attractive, and I'd happily melt her heart any day.
You won't get past me!
Number 8. Khalil. When it comes to hot Fire Emblem women, none burn as hot as Khalil. This fire sage from Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn is a bit of a mixed bag. She has a sexy pair of legs and can burn her enemies to a crisp by doing a lot of twirling. She has a bit of a narcissistic attitude, which is inflated in Path of Radiance, and understandably can be a bit of a turn off for some, but in Radiant Dawn, she's toned down quite a bit and is more accepting of the people around her and even goes out of her way to help others. Even though at this point she's married to Largo and has an adopted daughter Amy, Khalil is still damn hot, fire tome equipped or not. Even in her Arcsage outfit, she's still attractive, even more so. At the time of this recording, Khalil is the only character on this list who hasn't appeared in Fire Emblem Heroes, and when that day comes, I'll look forward to pulling her. Summoning her. Number 9. Mercedes. So while Dorothea is very glamorous and no doubt won me over very quickly, from day one of playing Three Houses, I was immediately drawn to Mercedes. I think between her and Dorothea, the latter is sexier, but I'd argue Mercedes is more beautiful. Her long blonde hair was the default attraction, but with a face so pretty and such a beautiful voice, I wanted to know more about this very down-to-earth but often scattered-brained beauty. For being the oldest student in the Officers Academy, being 22 years of age, Mercedes certainly looks younger than that and is very hard to believe she's supposedly older than Byleth, the one who teaches her. I guess if you put anyone in a school uniform, they're bound to look a little younger. I'll be honest, I was a little let down by Mercedes' time skip look at first. I mean, she cut off a lot of her hair, which was what drew me to her in the first place, and that bonnet doesn't help. I was thinking more along the lines of her appearance in Three Hopes. But the more I looked at her, especially in other outfits, the more drawn I was towards her appearance, and now, I think she's pretty fit for someone who is very faithful to the goddess. I think for good looks and charm, Dorothea is better in that regard, but for beauty and being motherly towards others, no one fits the bill better in Fodlan than Mercedes.
What I'm trying to say is that you shouldn't push yourself too hard.
And number 10... Camilla. Yeah, I know, another easy one, and honestly a character that gets way too much fan service. But for the eldest princess of Nor, who not only has the body of a proper woman and has a very distinct personality, it's very easy to fall for someone quite ravishing as Camilla. I mean, if I had a big sister who treated me the way Camilla does to Corin, as in very possessive and flirtatious, I'd be a very sexually confused child growing up. I mean, look at her, she does not hold back. Surprisingly, when Camilla is not dotting on her siblings, she does come off as very sophisticated and mature. Very ironic for a character that lacks any subtlety, especially with her choice of clothing. I suppose the one enchanting thing about Camilla is her long, wavy purple hair. Something about that just seems majestic. I think she's giving Charlotte a run for her money here, but I think the most captivating thing about Camilla is her calm, lustful voice. Every time she speaks, it's like she's trying to butter up and melt all those who listen. There's no beating about the bush. In terms of sexiness, I don't think there's a character in the Fire Emblem series that tops Camilla. Considering she has the most ults in Fire Emblem Heroes, holding the record of 9 different versions of herself, I can't be the only one who doesn't find Camilla attractive in one way or another.
My eyes are up here.
And that's it for this list. Boy, this was a very uncomfortable topic to talk about, but I did it for 2 reasons. 1, to tie into the theme of Valentine's Day, which centres around love and romance, and 2, to celebrate one of the aspects I love about one of my favourite video game franchises. But that doesn't mean there aren't other females in video games, or any media for that matter, that I don't find attractive. But with that said, do you agree with my list here? Are there any Fire Emblem women or men you're head over heels in love with? Or what fictional character in general can you not help but swoon over? Whatever your thoughts, I hope you have a good Valentine's Day. As for me, I've got my birthday to celebrate.